There's just 1 minute to showtime.
The engines are on.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
When they wrote up the systems and the rule set that we use, did working people get to write a line? What class of men on pen and paper jotted down their clues? With capital the heart of their design. When 90 million want a thing, but some shareholders say no, which class of people get to have their way? The people read the fine print, say that this thing has got to go, and we'll start writing a new contract here today. Don't you know that hundreds will work and one man keeps the money? They don't think they gotta tell us why. When they say the new social contract, all the bosses will be gobsmacked and everyone will want a sign. Oh, yeah, everyone will want a sign.
Okay, hello cousins. Thank you for joining us on this another week in hell. We are your stewards of hell. I am again joined by my talented and illustrious co-host, Mr. Mayor Jared. Hello, Jared.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the shows, right? Thank you. We are glad to have you. We know most of you guys watch at your leisure after on our through our archives, which is cool. So we're glad to have you as well, even if you're not watching live. And this is live. We have had some questions about this. Is it because we have a little logo up on the software we use is called Restream, so it's like that kind of implies that it sounds like it's not currently live. But it is
streamed. It's being restreamed in the sense that it's being sent to multiple things at the same time.
Right, yeah. It's being restreamed. But everywhere that you can see it right now at this time on the 1 p.m. hour of a Tuesday, which we know is strange, a strange time for a show. It is live. So so thank you so much for joining us. We're really lucky to have Mr. Mayor back here because he spent a couple plus weeks in China, the real China, and outside of like you get to, which I love about this is like you get to have like a real person perspective here, not like influencer filter going on. So like he's been regaling us with tales of what it's like to live in the 21st century and how things can be better, just not here. So as we endure the collapse era of the United States, which is our crowning glory here is of a UFC ring being our octagon, whatever the hell they're called. I don't know. Like, do I look like a kind of fucking person that sits around and watches people kick the shit out of each other? Because I'm not. So they are building one like as big as the White House on the front of the White House, where half of the White House is torn up, and everybody's getting real self-righteous about it. But hey, welcome to America, guys. Anyways, we actually get to have a good show today because if you caught our episode last week, Jared took us through part of his trip, and there's so much to tell. He's going to continue with letting us know how that went. So you get to kind of take a week off from all the stupidity. So
we got our second half of my China photos.
Yes, yeah. He's in lieu of doing the travel vlog that he did the first time. This was his second trip. We're kind of just using the show for it and doing things live here, and we're really having a good time. I am loving it. I think that you guys probably are also enjoying it. I mean, we're all really jealous, of course, but it's just I think this is really important not just like, oh, let's look at someone's travel photos. No, this is an important message here because we are seeing that this isn't like some made up thing. This isn't through some trying to tell you some, influencer nonsense. Like, this is something that is really happening. This is like the world outside of what the bubble that we are constantly stuck in of everything is stupid all the time. So this is like showing us what it's like on the other side of the coin of stupid versus not stupid. So I will turn things over to Jared now and allow him to get on into it. So let's go, buddy.
You continually hear about how like a better world is not possible, or however you want to phrase it, or that, oh yes, there are these good things other places, but at what cost? As they kind of stop saying that because it just makes your eyes roll at this point. It's like
Or
you're
who's
like,
gonna pay for it refrain. That's what we
if
get
China's
a lot.
having if any country anywhere, not just China specifically, but if anybody anywhere is doing anything that is what we would call better than the American system or our way of doing things here, it's always suggested that there's like, oh, well, there must be some horrible evil thing going on that I mean, you think everything's gonna be like a movie or a TV show where, oh, things are so nice, and then you have to rip back like, oh no, slave children, help! That's why things are nice. Like, things can't just actually be improved. It has to be some like nefarious thing going on. And for the longest time, I kind of bought into that also. And there was some kind of truth to that if you go back to China in the 80s and 90s, where yes, there are people in like your average factory worker conditions were not super great. Like you'll hear about, oh, there's 6 people living in like one small dormitory, and then they work at the Foxconn factory, etc. And yes, like I'm not here to tell you that never happened, but you look at where things are trending.
So that should show you they're capable of change. Like there's a self-effacing change that's, hey, our history is not great. Let's do something different.
How did the U.S. and most of whatever the West like industrialize and improve and attain the amount of wealth that it has? And consistently, you point to things like, well, they would go and invade some other country and get them to do that kind of stuff for them, and the conditions for those people are inarguably worse than they were for like Chinese people in the 80s and 90s. China did all of these things without taking over Africa, without like expanding. And all right, we're gonna subjugate the Japanese to make all our stuff for us, like in the same way that the U.S. and, well, I mean, England was kind of like the OG of that. Heck, France, even Spain before them. Like, how did Spain in the frickin' 1500s get super rich? Oh, well, they went over to Mexico, or really the southern parts of Mexico, etc., and like killed millions and just put a bunch of gold on ships and brought it back. It's like, that's usually where these stories are, and that's, I think, why you're part of like an hour, like the zeitgeist. You're like, oh, there must be some great crime taking place. Well, if you aren't happy with the condition of an 80s and 90s or 70s, etc., Chinese factory worker, none of that really had to happen. Like the U.S. and the West, we could have like worked together collaboratively in a way that would have made everyone's lives collectively a little bit better. But that was not an option. We had to contain the communist menace, whatever. So like, oh, how come there were these bad things in the past? Like, well, nobody was freaking lining up to help. How dare China not instantly become perfect using a magic device of some kind? How dare they not just teleport into what they are currently? There is a process of building, and you look around the U.S. and you see how there is like not no building taking place, but in the grand scheme of things, like your infrastructure, like the boring things. Sure, a big high rise might be going up. They might be building a tower near you. Phoenix is building all kinds of like large buildings, but at the same time, like, my power goes out a weird number of times here for having like buried power lines and all that. The correct number of times my power should go out would be 0, by the way. But we've had like 5 unplanned and 2 planned outages where it's like, what? Huh? Like, I'm in like not the middle of the city, but I'm in a pretty urban area, and we have buried power lines. So it's not like somebody in their truck like hit a line and it went down, or like a tree fell on, or etc. We have the modern, built in the 60s, infrastructure here in Glendale, but we still have these strange-ish... my internet goes down. Internet just doesn't go down in China. I mean, it's a little simplification, but it kind of just doesn't. All right, so at this point, I'll remind you where we are. We are in Chongqing, which is the very vertical, built amongst like the conjugation of 3 rivers. It's like a giant Pittsburgh. And the more I looked at it, the more it kind of is like a gigantic Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh with 30 million people, as opposed to, I think actual Pittsburgh has like 500,000. The actual Pittsburgh is tiny, and then there's all these little cities around it. So this is an outdoor art exhibition thing. It said contest, and it was like just you could walk around. There are all kinds of just printed out. These aren't hung frames. It's a gigantic print, but they kept in the frame stuff so you can look at it. And because it's outdoors and it's going to get rained on, etc., so they made it a little bit weather resistant. And just walking around like looking. Oh, we didn't go down there. I wanted to figure out how you get up on this sky bridge thing. It's like, can I just go on that? Is that like an office building? Yeah. Not everything was open because it was on a rando weekday. Oh yeah, this is the part we sort of ended on, where this is what like if I said I went to China, like this is an alley that kind of looked a bit more like what you would expect. Again, it's not like horribly dirty, etc. It's just okay. Some of these buildings are a little older. You have these cages, which I was told by my friends that in the like old apartments will almost always have these like full fence around your balcony. And it's because again, back in the 80s and 90s, it's like burglars would like climb up onto your balcony and rob you, etc. And then everyone with me is like, "Oh, I'd do that just because so I'm scared I'd freaking fall off, or if I have like a cat or something, I want to keep it on my balcony, or like a baby." But the newer ones,
or baby.
yeah, this is just an alley of slightly older buildings. Like these are probably from the 90s. Where the newest high rises do not do the cages unless somebody sticks them on
like,
voluntarily.
Okay, like I'm not having a problem with this. You can see that it's completely
not like hell.
Like, it's not like when you go to like literally any city and it's like covered in people like doing like heroin, like where they're just like completely like laid out everywhere.
This is where you would expect absolutely to see that. This is where in the U.S.
Right.
you would have like 6 different tarps laid over and tents, etc. But no, there's garbage cans. There's not even really like litter.
Literally laying everywhere in various poor states,
Like you got some like leaves and maybe cigarette butts.
Planters.
But there's not even like
planters.
Yeah, it's got some. Just why? Because like they talk about green spaces. Like they stick trees and shrubs wherever make any kind of sense. And there's just people who's like he's selling onions or whatever it is. Like there's still like just little shops going down. Got a soda. There's a barber shop, I think. Okay, then we go into, I think I showed this last time, so we're doing a little bit of overlap here. But we went into the Three Gorges Museum, and within the museum they had a currency exhibition that I thought was really neat. Because this is like China, thousands of years of history, and so like if you want to look at the first forms of like physical currency, you can go to China and look at that. Shells, and then they have like imitation shells where they would make them out of clay or porcelain, whatever. The spade money, and you look at this like, how is this practical? So you pull out and you have like a bunch of these, like a stack of spades, and they have like these handle things on them. All right. And then
ascribe value to is very strange.
You see, they took my criticism, they flattened them out, they made them all smaller. But this is still like BC. This is still so long ago. The knives. Here's where you get, like, you can see the concept of, how do I hold all these? So they start putting a hole in them, so you can like stick them all on a string, so you can have a wallet, kind of. Then we abandon that. Actually, these do have tiny holes in them, so maybe that worked out also. Aunt knows money. Like, our money's too big. Let's make it smaller. And then you finally get to, all right, coins. Coins, they still have a hole in them. It's a, geez, I'm not as congested as I'm not usually as congested as this in the morning. The distinctive coins of 6 dynasties. We're still in the year 200. And then, hey, look at this. A shipwreck of the Song Dynasty, underwater archaeology. And then we went through a bunch of different paper monies, because as I said last week, their government/currency kind of collapsed many times. So there was like, oh no, our money's worth nothing. We have to come up with a new kind of money and then reprint that. And not a fun time to be in, because you're like, oh crap, you mean all the money I already have is now like worthless and I have to go somewhere and like exchange it, etc. It's funny seeing Lenin on some of the, they're going like, who do we put on money? You'll hear criticisms in the U.S. about like, this guy on the money's a bad guy, etc. So China's like, how do we? All right, we're just gonna stick Lenin on this. We're just gonna stick Marx. Like,
we can
not
agree
even a Chinese,
on this. Yeah.
Not even a Chinese figure. What is this? This is like specifically Chongqing, an exhibition on the growth of Chongqing, where we had different dioramas of here it is, just kind of like a mountainside with a couple of shacks on it. And then the next one is, oh, here's some buildings. Then the third one is, oh, look at modern Chongqing with all the skyscrapers, etc. 30 million people. Jeez, got a stadium going on. The only bummer going through the museums is you'll see all these captions, and it'd be you can at least read like the years, like okay, this was 1956. But other than that, like I don't read Chinese. Oh, it was the second month. Okay, this is in February. And that's all I can get out of that. If you remember the Chongqing 1949 stage play that I mentioned in the previous thing, and how it had these various characters, and it's very dramatic. Oh, and these three were all brothers, etc. So I turn a corner and like, oh look, here they are. This is the cast of that show.
Yes.
They are actual historical figures. It was just a really dramatic time, so it seemed very dramatic. Happy Pride Month. This is my favorite accidental. Maybe it's accidental, but there's a photo of some pride parade somewhere, and somebody is carrying this flag. In this form, it doesn't look quite as brightly colored as if you get like a modern nylon representation one. But this is the Republic of China, the first Republic of China, 1912 to something, like a very short-lived flag for a short-lived nation. Shortly after because we had all the dynasties, right? And they talk about dynasties. They're like, oh, during the Song dynasty, the Qing dynasty, this dynasty. That stops with the Qing dynasty when you had the Chinese Revolution in, I think, 1912. Because that's when you get the Republic of, and they stopped naming their eras after dynasties because all the dynasties ended. Like you had the last emperor of China. Like wasn't that what that the Spielberg The Emperor? Isn't that what that was about?
The last emperor, and it was a child. Yes.
I remember seeing ads for that because it's like the kid and like the big thing, and he has the hat, and you're like, "What is this? There's a baby with a crown. What's happening?" I never actually watched the movie.
Well, it's just like where all monarchies ultimately collapse. Like when people go out on when the monastic system goes away, the monarchies, and like it usually ends up with like, and the same thing happened. Like in Egypt at different times, and before for a long time at the very end they were being ruled by the Greeks. So like it wasn't even their own brethren at that point. Like so and then children were coming in, and then the children having their adult siblings.
We found the.
Yeah,
we found the long-lost brother's cousin of blah, blah, blah king. Look at him. Here he is.
Right.
He's the new emperor.
Yeah. Ice cream time.
There's John, yeah. We got ice cream. The funny thing with what happened to China's last emperor? Well, they kind of brought him back. Like I guess it was that kid. I gotta freaking look into this more. But they're like, hey, look, here he is. This guy's the last emperor. Do you guys want? He should be in charge of you. And, after Mao and them took over in 1949, they're like, hey, man, we know you don't really, this isn't really your plan. They're kind of like putting you up here to try and like mess us up and create some kind of like a new civil war, etc. How about you just like come? Well, he was like exiled to like the Soviet Union, and the Chinese were like, "Oh shit, they're gonna kill him. Can you give him back, please? Because if you kill him, now you have like a martyr, and now you have people who are like, oh, everything was better under the emperor. We should have brought back the emperor. So instead, they're like, no, here he is. We're gonna give him a job, and he just like he had a relatively normal. Then like the Japanese had him for a second. They're like, look, this is your emperor. Bow down to him. And most of China's like. No.
No, I think we're gonna do things different now. We're gonna
had a war.
Shit, though.
We had multiple wars about this. We're not going back to an empirical system.
Right. Yes.
And then he lived out the last of his days as like working at a library. He's like taking care of the plants.
There are worse things to happen to emperors.
It's like a point to be made. It's like because like the Soviets came, they just freaking massacred the Romanovs, and they kind of deserved it. A little bit more than this guy who's been like a pawn since the day he was born. Like, you're a king. He's like, what? I'm 4.
Right, and that goes to show like that gameplay had been done throughout history, all over the place. Like, oh, they won't kill a kid. Like, and they throw them for. They fucking will. So like, no, that had just been done over and over and over again because there was always this idea of divine right, whether or not you were there. Like an heir to the throne or somebody that they brought in, and that's why it's stupid to still have a monarchy in Britain.
In freaking Iran, they're trying to be like, well, the real leader of Iran should be this guy who's like the Shah's grand nephew. And it's like, are we serious? Are we still doing this? Like it's freaking Aladdin Disney movies over here.
Right.
We're doing this. We found him. We found the secret.
Yeah, we found the heir apparent. So everything's fixed now.
You guys should just inherently want him to rule you for some reason. Okay, so we're going out. We have it's Chongqing, so everything is hot pot. So we're like, oh, what are we having for dinner? We would like not hot pot, but anything else. Like, don't worry, this isn't hot pot. This is going to be duck soup. And of course,
Okay.
it is a giant thing of soup that you then put stuff in and take out. And it's hot pot again. It's just a different kind of hot pot, where you drink more of the broth. And around this, these are all duck products.
Wow.
Like this one is. There's a lot of just like congealed blood things that you can get in China, which I thought that was pretty all right. I don't know if you'd call it, it's not adventurous. Like millions of people eat this stuff, but like when I was in England, like I ate the blood pudding, and it's like, all right, this tastes a little bit like beef jerky. This is drier than I thought it would be, and I kind of like a little bit of black pudding. And then like I had this, I'm like, oh, I thought this was gonna be goopier and like have a grosser texture, but that's kind of nice, and it just tastes like meat.
It's the kind of thing that makes me lightheaded thinking about eating blood.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. Like this is just cold chunks of it is cooked, but it's just cold chunks of cooked duck liver. I think these were like kidneys or something.
I mean, if that's what you're into, it's clearly good eating. Like it's clearly hearty. It's clearly something there that's and it's communal meal again. Family style going
always.
on. So
You always get the one. That's part. That's part of why I think like all these things fold in on each other, where you
yeah.
can see where culturally you're like, oh, we have one giant thing that we all
And
kind
that's
of
what
mess
we
around
talked
with.
about that the food is so looks even though it's a lot of it is like kind of basic staples of the diet there. It ties into their own history of what they had to eat but now enjoy eating. We're used to in the United States paying like $10 for a messed up cheeseburger that gets shoved at you through your car window and you're told eat. And you just drive over and eat it in shame alone. Like you have to go to places to eat communally in this way. Like it's not something we're used to seeing.
We then went to we went to see Mortal Kombat 2, and we're like, oh, can we get our? I want to get as I don't pay for. I never go to the movie theater here at home because it's like $12 to see like just for a basic movie ticket at this point. So I don't, and when I do go on rare occasions, I don't buy anything anymore because I'm too freaking cheap. But it's both I'm too cheap and like popcorn's $12. I'm not
It's
paying
too expensive.
double.
Like it's not like if you could afford it, you would go. Like that's everybody would. Like, but nobody seems to care that nobody's doing economy anymore. So
I used to buy popcorn when I went to the movies all the time when it was only like $6. When I went, oh, it's so expensive, and now it's double that. It's like I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gonna sneak in my baggie of whatever, and that's gonna be it. But I wanted to have the full experience. So
half a pizza.
My parents were encouraging us to do that. Like from my childhood, I never had any problem with like, oh yeah, you bring in food and you just don't let them see it.
Right.
It was us and like two other people in a very large theater. I think this was technically IMAX, so we got like our IMAX
nice.
ticket for $6. There were phone chargers just attached to the seats. You can't see in any of the photos, but the seats when you first sit down, they just have they're like massage chairs, and they're just going, and they go for like 2 minutes, and it's like for more of this, pay, like
Right.
scan on your phone.
Yeah, but also you can see those chargers were in like excellent condition. They weren't all torn to pieces like you would find here if they even had something like that. Those things would be torn to pieces if they were here.
More of this Chongqing
Different.
downtown area. This is our last night in Chongqing, but the photos are out of order. Oh geez, where even? Oh no. Okay, this is in order. So from Chongqing, we then, and this is gonna end up freaking skipping
Bucket
back.
style.
So
Oh no,
this
those
is
are
now.
yeah. Never mind, I see it now.
This is now in Chengdu. Chengdu was the last city that we went to, and unlike Chongqing, it's much flatter. It's still up in the mountains. It's in Sichuan province, so the same like state as Chongqing. Two large cities, the two big. I'd be surprised if I'm wrong that those are the two biggest cities in that province, and the whole area is known for pandas and spiciness. Szechuan, the Szechuan pepper sauce. I had at least heard that word before, and then I was like, oh, it's also a state. Fantastic. It's like in Mexico when you found that like Chihuahua is a state.
Yeah,
They're like,
right.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
I already know that word. I don't have to learn a new word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this is we were lucky enough that we had friends meeting us in Chengdu also to kind of show us around, and John is very exhausted at this point. he's always kind of exhausted, but I want to be nice to him, and I'm a little tired too. So they suggest a 24-hour spa. We're like, okay, 24-hour spa, and there is they speak basically zero English, so there's a bit of translations here. The thing that's lost in translation is that this is a relatively common thing that most Chinese people will have heard of, where in the U.S. you're like, 24-hour spa, okay, so it's a spa that's open late.
You have to mortgage your house to go.
That's what they expect to be really expensive. And this place was, don't get me wrong here. This was like pretty top tier fancy for China, which meant it was very affordable for me. Still, even being like the fanciest possible place. The 24-hour spa, the idea there is that you stay for about 24 hours. Like your admission lasts for 24 hours, and you're expected to stay there for at least like 16 plus hours. Like if you went for 2, it'd be like, why did you go to that one? Why don't you go to a cheaper, different kind of like hot spring situation if you weren't gonna like spend some time there? You can rent private rooms, like just hotel style, like locking door, etc. Or for no additional cost, just the price for the price of admission, they had 2 different like sleeping zones. One was kind of like a series of, I say bunk beds, but they're not really bunk beds. It's really fancy, but they're like stacked, and it's just like enough room for you to sleep, but you're not supposed to talk. There's like an attendant that just like stands there, and if you're being loud, he comes over, shh, just like, shut up. This is the sleeping zone only. And then you have a room that has a bunch of sleep cubicles in it. You will see those in my photos here. It's just they're just out of order enough. Here, let me scroll down and freaking find the thing while I'm talking about it. But it's a series of sleep cubicles that I mean, like once you go in one, it's yours. But if you leave for more than like 5 minutes or so to use the restroom, an attendant will come by and start like cleaning it. So like, okay, they're done. But you go in and you sleep. There's just 2 big beds in it. Well, they're actually like recliner bed things where you have like a button that reclines you into a lie flat position.
Okay,
but
far out.
there's a TV, and then there's like a button, and you can hit the button, and the attendant will come by and you're like, hey, can I get some like whatever you want? Like, can I get some fruit and some tea and some this, and all that is included in your price of admission. All the food that you're seeing here included in the price of admission. All these things are either like super out of order or
So it's just like adult timeout is basically what you're saying here. Like, okay, you need to go to timeout. Like, all right, done.
and that's the other like mini aspect of it that culturally kind of like is different. Where in the U.S. this would be, if you had something like this would be like adults only. Like it would eventually become kind of a sex thing. I guess what I'm trying to say is like when you have bathhouses in the U.S., the assumption is, oh, the bathhouse. Oh. Like
Something, yeah, something is kind of gonna come of this, literally. So
where here, like there were families, there were like more than a few kids running around, and all right. So I'm ahead of myself here. You enter the 24-hour spa, and then there's a procedure where, in this particular one, very fancy, there's 1 million attendants. There's so many people aren't just waiting to take anything from you or give you towels or... So you go in, they're like, okay, this is the take off your shoes zone. You're still in your street clothes. You sit down, take off your shoes. They take your shoes, put like a clip on it with a number, and then they hand you a wristband. And now the wristband is what you do everything with the whole time you're in there. So you don't have to like carry around your wallet, or for example, or your phone, even though everyone still is carrying around their phones. Because in China, if you think people are on their phones a lot here, whoa, people are really on their phones a lot in China. So you then take your shoes off. Man, I'm getting ahead. I'm so annoyed that these are out of order because now it's going to be showing you, oh, cool, Goose Island, hooray, beers. And I do have photos of this, but here, we'll look at this unicorn while I talk about it. So you take off your shoes, you get in an elevator, you go down, now you're in like the locker room area, and there's a separate men's and women's, and you take your wristband, it unlocks your locker, which has the number on your freaking wristband, and then you get naked. you become fully nude. you then take a shower. You do have to kind of be all right. I mean, you can like take your towel and kind of cover yourself if you feel shy, but that's just
it's a locker room. Like it's like okay.
Well, the only thing that makes it's not even awkward, because if like you and other people are all getting naked in the same room, it's like, all right, we're on an equal playing field. But there's like 15 employees all standing around, just like waiting, and they're either in a business attire, like a button-down shirt.
They just look at naked people all day.
And I mean, hey, I'll give them this. Everybody was pretty good with just like eye level eye contact. Everyone's just kind of like, all right, we're all looking up.
Except you're like 200% taller than like everyone there.
But you step over, then they give you little flip-flops so you don't slip. Then you go in, you take a shower. They take the flip-flops back, give you a towel. Then you're in the hot tub for a second. You get out, they give you another towel. Then you get upstairs, and there's two gender-separated naked areas where they have a hot tub. They have a hot and dry saunas. If you want to get a massage, there's guys standing around who are waiting for it, and they will occasionally come up and be like, "Want a massage?" You go, "No." All right, because those are not free; those cost extra. Then you go up. There's also a communal
You
room.
have one where they took you in the cave and hit you with sticks, like scrub your butthole, like.
I did actually have the thing where they put on like really kind of rough gloves and just kind of scrub just your regular areas of skin, which I'd never had before. That was interesting. There's also a communal pool area, like a mixed gender pool area, where you must have bathing suit of some kind, and they just give that to you. They just had some like swim shorts. They're not the highest quality. They're definitely like not even single use. You're allowed to keep them. You're encouraged to take them home with you. I still have them here, and we were a size 4XL, which is funny.
Oh my god.
In China, I'm a 4X.
Wow.
Where here, I'm just a single X. And John has kind of a large ass, so he was trying to put him on. He got him like 80% of the way on. And then he asks the question, which I'm like, why would you? Of course. He's like, do you have any bigger ones? As if they looked at him like, let's give him the second biggest size. So of course they don't, but he can get them on. He's got to deal with it. They're just real tight. And then you can go into the there's more hot tubs. They had a thing where it's just like a big pipe that goes across, and then there's a table there. Like, huh? And then the pipe just sprays water down with some force on you. So like you lay face down, and it just like shoots water at your spine. That was kind of nice. And then the significance of the food. You could pay. It did cost a bit extra. But okay, so let me just say freaking numbers here. It was $45 for the pass to come in, which includes breakfast, snacks, drinks, soft drinks if you want it. There was booze in there, but that all cost extra. I didn't have any booze while I was in there. I didn't even want any because they had a fridge full of freaking teas and fresh fruit, etc. Oh yeah, the fruit also included. But if you wanted this lunch, dinner, and late night snack, that was an additional $45, but it's also all you can eat, and it's like you get on your phone and order these individual plates, so it's table service, and the food was pretty good. So for under $100, you have, which is, heck, that's the cost of most hotel rooms if you get a really cheap, crappy one. For under $100, we had infinite food, hot tub, showers, and people waiting on you hand and foot to a degree where it was almost uncomfortable. Where I'm like, no, just leave me alone. Like, let me do stuff. It's all right.
Let me do it.
You don't have to be helping me with it.
Amount of money to think about for something. I mean, that would be like a couple $1,000s here, for the bare minimum.
The highest end of that. I mean, I don't like go to a lot of spas. I don't think I've ever been to one in the U.S., but like, this was so fancy. I can't over exaggerate it. I don't have a lot of pictures because I mean people are like either fully naked or half naked because then you're given like not quite a robe.
Photos is discouraged.
Yeah. We have a couple of like the common areas where everyone's fully dressed, but the only I don't have a picture of this either. But thing I noticed and I kind of wanted to know more about, like for the women's restroom and only the women's restroom, there was like a little screen that had a camera that was showing. And like I didn't try to use it, but I'm pretty sure what it is to enter the women's restroom that they like take a picture of you, and I don't think it's to like scan if you're a woman or not, but I think it is just to be like, we want to know if we have to go check who was going in there. Well, we have a picture of them. Like here they are. This is, like there were definitely steps taken to like tamp down any creepiness.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there were clear signage like this is the women's area. Don't stop it. Don't go in here.
Right. Yeah. We know who's going in and out of here. Just, an effort to be made. And again, you are dealing with like a different cultural situation. So it's like, this is just how they're going to manage that happening. But, I don't feel like, that's where you're going to go to like creep on people because it's so public.
Yeah, I wonder if it like used to be and it was tamped down on, or if maybe that's why it hasn't been a problem, is there's like effort taken of like, you don't come here to pick people up. That's not the point.
We don't do that here.
This
We
isn't a
just hang out,
singles club.
get wet in the steam. Like that's all we do, and that's it. Like I would get
Right.
so bored so fast. Like I just have such like a short attention span for like just sitting, like and not doing something while I'm doing it. Like no, you're supposed to just enjoy. Like I did that, and I'm done now. And it's like it's been 5 minutes. So but
They
I
had
get
a-
it. I get it.
They had a hall of like with nooks, and each one had a video game system. They had the reading area with a bunch of books in Chinese that I can't read. There was the center restaurant
what's the
thing.
circle things? Like were they like I couldn't tell if they were like I know they aren't really into gambling, but I saw in the pictures and videos where they're like video games. They're like circular. Like John was at one, and they're like,
That's just that's a rhythm game. That's a Japanese thing.
Oh,
where it has
okay.
the things
I
come
saw
out, and then you
them,
hit
I'm
the
like,
right
"What is
button.
this
And
thing?" Like, yeah, because at first I was like, "Is this like a slot machine?" And I was like, "No, they don't do that." So like, it's not really a thing. So, okay, all right.
yeah,
Question.
there's definitely gambling in China, but you're gonna be more like people gambling on freaking mahjong and
Yeah, well, yeah.
or just straight up dice.
Not just like if you were anywhere in like the Las Vegas area, you go to any gas station or anywhere, and there's like a casino in it. Like,
Yeah,
like,
I don't think I actually saw any straight up just actual slot machines. Like we went to one arcade. Oh, that was in Singapore anyway, so it doesn't even count. So we were at one arcade where there was a lot of just like older adults all sitting around machines, and I'm like, this isn't like pachinko or any traditional gambling thing, but I think this is kind of gambling substitution. Like they just get tickets, but they're like, yeah, I'm 80. I want to sit here and like match a machine for a little while.
This is how I want to spend the rest of my life, my time on this earth.
So this is after the spa. We're just walking around Chengdu, and it's like this is not the main area. This is actually kind of far outside of town, like far from the city center. But things just are nice, and you keep waiting to see in the corner, like, oh, where's the guy in a tent? They just don't exist.
It's crazy.
We were walking to a place to get burgers. Funnily enough, because like, do you guys?
Everything
want
also
a
looks
burger?
very quiet. Like, is that just kind of the vibe, or is that what it's like? Like everywhere you go, it just looks quiet.
Well, if I go back here for a second to like these kind of areas where there are a lot of people, I mean, it's the noise of people talking because it's also
Sure.
it's after work on I think this was Friday at this point, after work on Friday, so people are out socializing. And then there is the noise of traffic, and there's a bit, depending on what U.S. city you live in, the level of beeping maybe more or less. In Phoenix, nobody freaking uses their horn unless something's happening, which is great because then when you do use your horn, people actually look like, oh, what's that? Someone's
As
beeping. Something must be
intended.
happening.
Nice.
Or China has if you're like in the far, I've heard in India especially, where like beeps are like turn signals basically. It's like a form of communication. It's not even that you're mad. It's like, I'm behind you, 1 beep. I'm gonna pass you, 2 beeps. Like this is happening, 3 beeps. Like that type of thing. And you get a lot of just like quick beeps when people come up behind other people, and I think it's more of just like hello, be aware of me, less than being
Right.
mad. And then if you like lay on the horn, that's when you're expressing displeasure. And they have whole zones where they have it has a freaking trumpet with a circle slash, and I'm like, oh, no horn. I see. You're not allowed to honk your car horn here. And so then people flash their brights at each other because you're not allowed to make noise. And yeah. Random river walk. This is and look into this. You're like, oh no, is that it? Is that Skid Row? Are those the tents? No, it's people playing basketball. It's it's an athletic facility.
You found it. No, you didn't.
And I know it exists somewhere. There are absolutely at least 1 or 2 homeless people in the city of tens of millions of people. But you don't see them. I don't know. Maybe they're hiding them in a house, hiding them
The
indoors
homeless people
somewhere.
are hidden in their homes.
It was explained to me that if they find people sleeping on the street, they're like, all right, we need to take you back to your family. Which like, okay, I guess like you're like registered wherever you're like registered at as your like home, and then they take you there.
Like you're a lost dog. They return you.
Yeah, basically. And they're like, look, you gotta take care of this guy, your dad, brother, uncle, whatever. And then if that doesn't work out, they're like, okay, we're gonna put you in like a jobs program thing. And then if that doesn't work out, it's like, all right, we're still gonna like you keep trying things, and that doesn't mean that everyone like succeeds necessarily, but you're not in abject poverty eating like mud.
Like Western Czech here, we're not used to that kind of thing. Like we live in a throwaway society where it's like, oh, go live on the streets, you worthless person, because you couldn't do capitalism right and you deserve die there.
They just keep trying with them.
No, yeah,
somebody's got to go
and
somewhere.
that's what should happen. Like bare minimum, that's what should happen. Like it's almost hard to say like, oh, good job, China, that's great, because that's so bare minimum. But it is great. Good job, China. Great. Like that is at this. It's both at the same time. That.
Even if you want to be cold and calculating, it's more cost effective because they don't have people fucking clogging up your emergency rooms and stuff. Like,
Just
it's
to have
just better
somewhere
for
to be.
everything. So
everything.
we were trying to eat burgers here. Oh, can I zoom in on the menu? We won't be able to read it. Nope. I can look at prices. Look, that's $3, $2. Okay, but we were gonna have cheeseburgers here, but we went up and said, "Hey, burgers," and they said, "We're actually we've sold out of beef,
We ran out
so
of
we have
burgers.
everything else. Like we have our pastas, we have etc., but not the burgers." So we took a break, got ourselves some tea, and they said, "Oh, we actually know a different place for burgers. Let's get in a cab and go there." So we're just driving around. I don't know what most of these buildings are. They're just cool looking.
So you did at some point feel like, okay, it'd be nice to have something kind of like a little bit Western.
They brought it up to us, and they're like, "Well, you probably don't want cheeseburgers." I'm like, actually, it's been like 2 weeks since I've had that. That would be great, and especially from like an actual restaurant and not McDonald's, etc. Oh, they had a beer menu. Hooray! You start seeing a lot more English, and that's when you know prices are going up. If you ever see English, like, oh, this is going to cost slightly more. And these are not for China. It's kind of expensive. It's almost approaching like American craft beer prices. So this is like $6-7 for a pint. But then we went to Singapore next, and it was like 12. So I was feeling pretty good. This is a beer. This is a hazy IPA.
It looks like a milkshake if you don't know what it is.
It looks like a glass of soy
like a
milk.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thickest IPA I think I've ever had. That was good if you like that kind of thing. Oh, cool. This has teleported us to the, now we're at the Panda base, which was like 4 days after this. I just took this picture because, like, oh, it's Po. It's Kung Fu Panda Po. But, like, how do you... He's just a panda, and pandas all look the same, so it becomes this fun, like, copyright, like, oh, no, is this illegal? I don't know. This is the food court of the frickin' Chengdu Panda base, a massive zoo that is only pandas. Well, pandas and red pandas, and then they have, like, one monkey.
I love red pandas.
This is Pizza Hut, and they have durian mango pizza for $11.
It kind of sounds awful, but all right.
Or like bolognese pizza, cool.
Wow.
Texas pizza. It's like, I think it was like chicken, pepper, tomato. I don't think that was pineapple.
Did they offer pizza flavored pizza?
I know, right? Like everything. Just get annoyed at the prices because this is like expensive for China, and it's like, oh, this sandwich is $4. This pizza is just over 10. Where is it? These combos are all
no
under
less
$10.
than you pay here for it, so
That's what I mean. It's like you get an actual a combo of like, look, drink, pasta, some kind of side dish, fries, and it's like, all right, that'll be $5. 70 yuan is 10 for reference if you want to do some mental math. This is just, oh look, McDonald's, we found it. The bamboo tower. This is all just features within the Panda Zoo. We went to McDonald's to get John a single cheeseburger because they're having a hard stomach time, and we're like, okay, no matter what, I know you'll be able to eat this, and it won't it's going to be familiar to you.
Cheeseburger out like that works for a lot of people.
So, but we did go back and get actual Asian food from the Chinese vendors down there. It was a slow day at the Panda Zoo when we were there because it was like Wednesday or something in the middle of the day. So since this was after Labor Day weekend, we were now at a big tourist dip because everybody just kind of went and did their tourism the previous week. So we were in the pretty big food court area, as you saw. It's like multiple stories and there's a ton of restaurants. And it took a while for them to notice we were there, but then as soon as they did, all of the just like in the U.S. and other places where you have foot traffic, if your restaurant doesn't have a lot of business, you just stand out front and then just go, hey, come on in, man, look at our deals, boop, we got a special, come please eat at our restaurant. And they didn't see us for a second, and then when they did, all of them simultaneously, oh, hey! It's like, ladies, we can't eat at 5 restaurants. I'm gonna feel bad. But we came up to this one, looked for a while, and they're like, we're going to take a walk, but we're going to come back. And I'm sure they didn't probably understand what we were saying, but also I'm sure like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. But then we did. We came back. You're allowed to do outside drinks like everywhere. They made a rule about it. we were talking to our friends, and they're like, "Oh, this outside drinks thing is not a thing you can do in the U.S." They're like, well, you see, it actually used to be like that, but then people raised the point of, well, look, if I can't bring my own outside drinks, they're just going to gouge me on their own drink prices. And I'm like, yes, of course, obviously, that's the point. That is exactly what they're doing. Like, that's why Chili's charges you $4 for a Coca-Cola, because they want to hide the price of their food. And if you could just bring in your own soda, then they would lose. So China listened to that and went, you know what? They're right. We will make it a rule. You must allow outside drinks. So the common practice is you're going out to eat. You first stop at the drink, like the corner store, to get your sodas and teas, whatever, and then you walk that into the restaurant with you, and that's just seen as totally normal. So at the food court, we went, got a tea, went over, got our food here. This is Don Don noodles, which usually has peanuts, but through some translating back and forth, I'm like, I am allergic to peanuts. So instead of just giving me no peanuts, they replaced them with these crunchy fava bean things that seem they're real common and popular in Szechuan, especially on pasta, on their noodles. So, and it seems weird to me when I first, like, I'm like, oh, we're putting crunchy shit on the noodles. Then you eat it, and you're like, oh no, this is good. This, like, breaks up the texture. I can see the place in cuisine. This is filling for me. We have our spicy, salty. We have some, like, this is basically a little freaking sauerkraut crumble over here, like a pickly cabbage thing. We got a little vegetable, a crunchy thing. You have your spicy and your sweet and your salty and your vinegary. It's good. It's well put. Those Chinese people sure do know how to cook food. I'm just saying obvious things, like the cuisine is world renowned. You don't need me to tell you. Just nice landscaping. Oh, we've gone back in time a couple days now. This is we're going out for infinite Korean barbecue. So it was, I think, $6, maybe $7 a person, and it's all you can eat. You'll see here in a second the just big spread of raw meats, where you pick up your plate, you go over, you just start taking shit you want. I don't know if this would be even, like, allowed in the U.S. because we're too, like, food handling,
Right.
don't eat raw shit.
Yeah.
Like, I could see this being a situation where, like, an employee would have to do it for you
Right.
at best.
Americans would abuse the fuck out of this. So, like, it was just like, why are you doing the dumbest thing possible right now? Get the raw meat out of your mouth, or out of your child's mouth. Like, I can just, like this is just like a complete catastrophe in my mind trying to apply this to Americans.
They do have, it is like the raw meat tongs are very close to where you'd be picking up stuff that you're not going to eat raw, and I just could imagine someone just the same tongs. Like, no, don't use the pork tongs on the watermelon, please.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they had the smiley fries. I couldn't believe when I saw these. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, okay.
They're international. These are all different egg tarts, and then they got, like, this is like what they would call sweet soup. I mean, it's just soup that is sweet, but we got that in there. We got some kind of freaking dumpling thing over there. All you can eat. Take as much food as you want. It's a Korean chain as their mascot, and we saw her, like, the first day we were there. I saw in a billboard. I was looking back at my photos. I'm like, oh my god, it was foretold in Guangzhou that we would see.
Yeah.
We would go see this Korean baseball lady mascot. All right, now we're back in our hotel. I don't know how these photos got so out of order. It's the names of the photos are just the date and time. So how is the computer effing this up for me? We found a mahjong, but not found. We were taken to a mahjong parlor, which is all a bunch of, like, nerdy teenagers who could speak a little English, and they thought it was hilarious that we were there at all. Just the fact they're like, what, you brought Americans? Well, they straight up did a freaking 6-7, and I realized it was happening and came back to them like, Liao Chi, which is the Chinese. Like, oh, they killed the room. They loved it. But I'm playing mahjong for, like, the first time. John's played it a little bit. That was a fun time.
I've only played it by myself. I've never played it, like, domino style with, like, other people, and I love it by myself, but I don't know how it works with other people exactly.
It's similar to Rummy in that you're making, like, sets of things, and then the real strategy is in what you discard, which can benefit, because if you discard a thing that the next person in line needs, they can be like, haha, call it, boom, and then you get points.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It's a lot of just luck of the draw. I mean, I've played freaking once now, but it seems like I don't get a lot of decisions. Like, you get like discarding is the only thing you actually really get to, like, do. You just have to wait for the.
When you play it yourself, it's just like a matching game. If it's locked in, you can't put it. So that's basically it.
So we're at the Panda Zoo, and there was a squirrel, and this is probably my favorite picture of the zoo because it's other tourists also stopping to look and take pictures of the squirrels.
It's a squirrel.
And they're having a fun time being squirrels.
You're
They
at
sit
a
very
zoo with
still.
her
They freak
pandas,
out.
and it's like,
Right.
here's a squirrel.
Right. Let's look at that squirrel. Honey, did you see the squirrel?
And nobody's ever seen one of these. This is excellent. Yay,
Having
red
a-
pandas!
It's like an accidental good photo on my part. I was trying to just focus on the panda, but now I like have this guy who's also taking his own photo. We had red pandas.
I love them.
Standard
You cannot
pandas.
convince me you couldn't take one of those and drop
Right.
it in your life with a pet, and then like it wouldn't just fit right in. Like I'm
They're
sure.
so docile. Like it's how do they exist from a evolution standpoint? Like
Right.
they're just how they not just been eaten. Oh yeah, this is right by our. It took me like the third day to notice that right by our hotel is Big Mao statue. It's like there he is. Hey, our guy. All right, teleporting back to the panda base. Actual
Yeah.
pandas. Hey, look at them.
Fantastic.
Oh, this is we stopped at the snack bar because we were hungry in the panda zoo, and we saw this on the sign. We're like, oh, cheese beef. Okay, this is for us.
They're
This
not.
is the
They
burger.
don't serve panda there. You just eat like, the pandas.
Well, they have they got the panda sundae.
Panda shaped stuff like there's.
But the
That's
picture
fine.
said cheese beef roll, and reality we got this,
All right. Like they
which
just
is very
breathe-
microwaved. But
they
it was
breathe
closer to like a
beef on it.
it was closer to like a burrito. Like it has corn in it, as you can see. It had some like little
Hot
flecks
pocket.
of like some chili peppers. There was some beef in there, we're pretty sure, but that was a pretty funny disparity between picture and reality. These are all just things within the Panda Zoo. Oh no, sorry, we teleported again. Now we're a couple days later in Chengdu, walking around another one of their intentionally tourist area things, and most of the tourists are just other people from China, who are not from Sichuan. It's
Right.
like if you go to frickin' DC, there's gonna be people there from Texas
Right.
and California, etc. If you go to LA, people are there from Alabama. You got this like pineapple shaved ice thing. That was really good. We were told this is a very Szechuan ice cream product, and you only get this here. These were mushrooms.
Like
Here
when
we-
you go over there to breathe
Come
in the spores, like is that coldness or spores? Like what's
Come
happening
feel
there?
the fresh silver ear mushrooms alive.
Oh wow,
Like,
okay.
free tastings. I feel weird about doing any free tasting anything because I feel like I'm expected to buy it if I do that, so I just
Yeah.
usually don't. Now we're in the like high-end shopping center thing. Again, we went to McDonald's because we wanted to get something that John could eat, so he wouldn't be mad. And they use the McDonald's characters a lot more than we do. It's like going back to the '90s. They're just everywhere. They use their grimace.
Yeah, it's that right there is what
Hamburglar.
everything looked like when we were kids.
Yeah,
Like so,
just-
you know,
if you guys missed the '90s, go to China.
they still
But everybody has
utilize
air
the
conditioning.
characters. Yes.
Okay, again. This is the high end area, so you'll see. Freaking where is it? A lot of brands you recognize besides KFC. This panda hanging off this building here is famous. Like if you type in Chengdu into like Google, that's a chance that's one of the photos that'll come up is of this area. This really is the quote Times Square type area of Chengdu. Oh, all the buildings that are all gold leafed like this are gold stores. You can go buy gold jewelry at them.
Oh.
And there's a few of them. They all do this. They have a balcony, and then dancers will come out, and then they start playing music, and then they do a dance routine, and then it stops. Then every like 20 minutes, they'll do that again. We found Taco Talk, Mexican burritos, and a friend pointed this out to me. It's not actually Mexican burritos. It's Mexican burrito.
Burritos. Yes.
Like they spelled it right on the outside, but they messed it up on the inside. That was a pretty good taco. Oh, look, another gold one. Oh, yeah, this one didn't have a balcony, but the third one did. Shopping area thing. There's that panda again. Cosmo Lady. We went to another spa type thing. It's just one room. We just wanted to get a massage. But of course, a massage is like, well, first, you're going to soak in this tub for a while. And we're going to give you some watermelon and a drink and a tea. And you're going to sit and watch a movie for like half an hour. Then we're going to pull you out. And then we're going to put on these like gloves and this like lotion, but with like, I think like rock salt or something in it. And then just like exfoliate the shit out of you. And it hurts. But then we're going to actually massage you. And
You are
that was really
enjoying
nice.
this. You're having a good time. You paid for this.
This I just thought was cute. It's just a portable stoplight that they put up because this place gets really, really busy. And you see like Prada. There we are. There's the high-end type things I was thinking about. we ate this in that same area, which is conveyor belt sushi. If you've done conveyor belt sushi,
I was
you've
wondering
done
about
this.
that. Yeah, I didn't know if I was like, do they have that? Is that like a Chinese thing that they're
They got that in
interested in?
Phoenix. Like I can go and do almost. I think it might even be the same chain. Like it's not nearly as
All
cheap.
right,
And
all
this
right.
wasn't too horribly cheap because this is like fancy. Oh, we're going out having Japanese food. Look at this. But compared to the U.S., still
Right.
fantastic prices. Like here we are. What is this? For 8 yuan, that's $1.20. Like you can have any, not all of these things, but you get one. Like these are the discount ones. Or buddy, oh 15. Oh, that's $2. As opposed in the U.S. where there'll be $4 or $5 for a little plate of like 2 pieces of conveyor
Yeah.
belt sushi. Oh, look at this! Just ate a ton of food. These were fun because they're clearly supposed to be like burger, but they were more like a meatloaf or Salisbury steak type thing. I liked them a lot. I thought they were good. A bunch of plates, all right. Nighttime, same fancy area.
Did
Oh, yeah,
they?
then we.
You hear the influencers talking about, oh, it's 10 o'clock here and everything's super nice and it's like you don't feel in danger or whatever. Like I'm assuming that's that was your experience as well.
There's no. I have a very high tolerance for quote bad areas, but like I'm not stupid. I I can get an idea for like, oh, this is a place I shouldn't be, etc. That guy's. Ugh. It's not even. It doesn't even freaking enter your mind in China. Like the rate of petty crime. It's like the likelihood of you getting pickpocketed or something in Chengdu is just so close to zero. And even if it happens, you go to the cops and they'll be like, "All right, let's use our 10,000 cameras." And there he is. All right, let's go to his house.
Let's get your wallet back in 15 minutes.
It's a combination of you don't really like, believe it or not, despite what we're told, people don't just do crime for fun because they're like bad people because they were born with a dark soul or whatever. It's usually because you have a level of desperation or poverty that leads to those kinds of crimes, or it's like a kid being a dick. like
In
that's
which
kind of what a
case,
lot of it is.
that's what they try to like avoid it in the front instead of like punishing people in the back because of the fact that like, okay, if you're not marginalized, put in this horrible situation, you're not going to fuck with other people, like logic. So
It's a combination of there's not as much desperation, so the crime
yeah.
doesn't happen out of like necessity or desperation, and then they're gonna catch you like, through the combination of you don't really have to do this, and if you do it, the consequences are nearly guaranteed and far outweigh like the risk. Like it's not worth it, man. That's what a lot of China's like. It's we have an official, proper, like by the books way to go about the thing. I am in need of a job or food or whatever. Okay, we have stations set up. There's people you can contact. Like there are steps you can take to get that taken care of, or at least begin the process. I have a complaint about a thing in my. So our options: do we go online and talk shit, or do you go through the actual channels to officially lodge your complaint and do the like? That's when you hear about Chinese like, oh, it's censorship and it's very locked down. It's like no, it's if you want a thing accomplished, there is a way to go about it, and if you use those official channels, there is some reasonable expectation of results from it. If here in the US I have a complaint about like I don't know a pothole or whatever in my road, I have a far greater chance of that pothole getting addressed if I get like a viral social media campaign done about it than if I just go to the city and say, "Hey, there's a thing, can you fix it please?" Where in China you go, "Hey, there's a thing, can you fix it please?" And it's like within 48 hours it is done. It is complete.
Yeah.
We saw that happen outside our hotel. There was like a chunk in the then we came. There was some chunk out of the part of the driveway for the hotel, and we saw that on the way out. Then on the way in, we saw the construction crew. All right, they're laying the concrete, they're smoothing it out, doing the thing. The next day, okay, we're rinsing it, we're doing it, we're scoring the bit. Like jobs. People need jobs. There's work to be done, and in China, they get people to go do these jobs, so everyone has a job.
Right.
Oh shit, we need to hire as few people as humanly possible because we exist under a profit system and blah blah blah. China doesn't really have to deal with that. You don't necessarily have to be making a bunch of money to be doing the function of like going out and doing infrastructure improvements.
And we
Like
have
fixing-
here where everybody's been scammed into, oh, you have to do college, and it's like, did you realize that there are like already 2 generations ahead of you, like with all of those jobs, and they're gonna go away, like, so like that's that scam destroyed. I think destroyed probably most of everything left to be destroyed. That's a big part of why we're here, anyways. But
From
they
a
don't. The point
purely
is like that you need a job. You want to do a job. Like we're not going to scam you into going and thinking you're going to get an imaginary job. You could just have one
from a
doing a
purely
thing.
like from a purely business standpoint, there are some like superfluous and redundant employment going on in China. They have a few too many people standing around doing the security checks, a few too many people working on the construction sites. But like, yeah, that might not be optimal for like creation of surplus value in a profit-driven sector, but it makes your workday a lot nicer when it's not like, oh shit, I'm the only guy and I have to get all this done in this amount of time. It's like, no, you have a few extra hands and everybody has a little nicer time doing it. We were watching them clean up and do landscaping at the panda zoo, and it's like a squad of 9 people going up cleaning one staircase, but it's just going, it's just fast, like a freaking conveyor belt of humans.
Yeah, it
Just,
makes
all right, move this
conditions
thing,
better when you
hose this
have.
up.
Yeah, you have instead of the one guy who can't manage anything, like you have like all these people keeping conditions nice. Like it's nice to live in a nice place. Like it
There's
makes
so many people
perfect
just
sense.
wandering around picking up trash, and they have vests, like that's their job. They're sanitation
Right.
workers, and they just got a broom, and they're just, all right, let's sweep up this random curb. That's what that's their job. So now we're entering a thing that I've been told doesn't exist, which is a gay bar in China. Because as we're led to believe, it's illegal or something. I don't even people think it's necessarily illegal. They just think like, oh, it's a bad time, or there is no magical place. But if you I'm trying to compare things to the United States. And it's like, I don't know what, like, it's not on the books illegal. You don't get like arrested for being a homo in China. Gay marriage is not a fully legally recognized thing in that name, but they have like a basically civil unions type situation where you can name any other grown adult as your like legal, not even beneficiary is not the right word, but like power of attorney, etc.
Right.
Like if you're in the hospital, they can help make decisions, that kind of thing. You can get that done with any other adult, so you kind of have de facto gay, but you just do it to your partner, and then there you go. You're legally connected. You can't get kicked out of their apartment, etc. You can have joint ownership of things, blah blah blah.
Right.
The things that actually matter for your
Yeah.
gay marriage. Because as it's been explained to me, the strategy is to go about it in a way that doesn't create a big backlash reaction like we have here in the United States, where you have this weird entrenched, like, I'm just like knee-jerk, don't like the gays because of a combination of news media training me to not like them and other like weird superstition shit. They don't want to create like a political reaction front. So like they've been all right, and then by the time it's just actually called gay marriage, it'll have been there for so long that like nobody really gives a shit. The generation that really cared will just kind of be dead, and we'll
It's
just
just,
all
it's
move on.
identity politics here still. Like, let's describe a bunch of bullshit to something that is nothing, and then instead of
I don't even
fighting
know
about it.
anybody who's like, I'm sure they exist. I certainly can find them online, but like I don't know anybody who's like in their heart just, God, they just hate the gays so much.
Right.
Like I know people who will repeat things they heard on the internet because it's like the guy
Oh yeah,
they
like it's just like nobody's. Very few people are just walking around consumed with it. Like that's their number one
yeah,
complaint.
just like attacking gays. Oh, I saw one, I had to kill him.
Right.
Like
Yeah, these things are usually more politically motivated than
it's
than
shit you
I
get
don't
like
know, personally motivated.
hypnotized into doing by watching like, ugh. Yeah. So anyway, this isn't even just like regular calm gay bar. It's like leather bar and like way hornier than.
There was a
most of the
Squidward. There was
places
a
I go. It's
Squidward.
a Squidward. But there's a lot of like leather and like pup things going on.
Okay.
Yeah, there's more. I drew a thing right next to a penis.
Oh, nice.
All right, this is me on my last Chengdu day. I took this picture because I just look very American, with, like baseball jersey. And
Is that what you wore
shorts
to
and
the
boots.
leather bar?
Yeah, I was thinking I was in that, but just like a freaking t-shirt. I don't have like an outfit. That was in our bathroom. Yeah, more of the bar. This is the hotel we were in. I'm almost at the end of my photos here, aren't I? Yeah. We had a small amount of walking around Chengdu after this. This hotel was $28 a night.
Oh wow. And look at it. I mean, like you would pay into the hundreds of dollars for that. Like, look at it. It's clean.
We went to
it's
Singapore
nice.
and spent $110 on a freaking shoebox that we stayed in for the 3 days after this. And I'm like, man, don't we miss China now? This is me taking my last photos of. We were right across from Tianfu Square, which is the center of Chengdu. That's where you got your Mao statue. And there's a few of those around China, but Chengdu certainly got one. There he is. Oh, geez, yeah, we teleported back in time to where we got that ice cream. This is it's like a former historic street that now has become very tourist, but they keep it looking historic, and that's where you go to. They have like the tea houses. Chengdu is famous for tea houses and like people relaxing and hanging out, drinking tea and playing cards for like all day. It's like the laid back city. So we went to this, and oh look, it's tea, but I'm like, do I just drink out of this like bowl? And they're like, yeah, you just drink out of the bowl. I'm like, oh, okay, not really a teacup. It was like
All
bowl
right.
shaped. You just
So I was
drink it
thinking you just
slow.
look around at everybody else and then be like, they're
Yeah.
doing it.
I didn't know if there was like, no, you pour it through this filter and then drink
Right.
the tea. It's like, no, you just drink the tea out of the thing. Oh god, my freaking mouse die. That'd be funny. So you just drink it in a way where this is jasmine tea, and you try not to get the flowers directly in your mouth.
Don't drink the
Whatever.
foliage.
And we ordered this whole little like spread of snacks. I want to try them. Then you'll see this guy up there. He's doing the. It's you spin around a kettle with a very long spout, and then
Okay.
wow, like he pours it. We're like, what's the thing? It's like the kung fu tea, and we look it up, and it's like gong fu cha, which is just kung fu tea. So I was like, oh, we're saying the correct thing even.
Okay.
The guys came out. If you
I
see
mean,
where
well,
they
you
have like a
didn't go
map.
there thinking you were going to see that, and you did, so that's still pretty cool.
But there were a bunch of these along this street where different houses that all do the same gist of a show where they have a guy with the tea thing, they have a guy doing like poetry and spoken word, and then they have in the full, it's not kabuki, but if I say that, people know what I mean.
Right.
And they have the masks, and then they're like, "Wah!" and then the mask changes to a different mask. They had a couple of those guys. They put on music, and then, they do that like 5 or 6 times. And I think that's my last photo I have here. It's just with white Monster Energy. They have it. China does have white Monster Energy drink.
I don't know
In
what
case the
that means.
millennials were scared, they might not be
Is
able
that
to get any.
is that something here that's like a common thing? Like I don't know. Like I'm not
It's like
being
a meme among millennials, and there was
Okay.
a hat or a shirt image, and it just said in Chinese, "Help! I am fleeing the American century of humiliation. Can you please show me where to buy white Monster Energy drink?" And they have it. They got it. It's a slightly different mix. I was told theirs does not have nearly as much caffeine in it. I'm like, what's the point?
Right.
I need my
So you
come
need
on.
you need the death lemonade from I don't
Yeah, let
remember
me
what it
poison myself.
was, right? Yeah. No, that is so cool, and I'm really glad that we took time to it was a good time for us also because like everything is just basically stupid, but it's holding. Like we're in a stupid holding pattern right now, but like not really like, oh, we need to talk about this so much because like what are we going to talk about? Oh, data centers, yeah, that's fucked. Oh, Trump, yeah, that's fucked. Like Iran, that's fucked. So like it was really good to be able to take this little interlude and see like, okay, everybody like take a breath here and look at what's going on and like this I feel like you weren't like this isn't like accelerationism in the way of like it's got to be like this right now, like why aren't we doing this right now, because that was very basic situation. Like it wasn't like super like oh mega future
It's
or
not
anything.
future, it's current day.
It's current. Yeah, that's the
China's
thing.
not in the future. They're just the only people in the present.
Right. And you are also coming from a point of view of like this was your severalth rodeo, like with traveling. Like you have been around the world a couple of times, and like you can definitely tell like what places are putting their intentions into the people, into the place, and what people are not. The homeland, for example. So
China's not a country where you're not allowed to go make money. It's not a place where you can't do entrepreneurship. People are out there freaking hustling just as hard as anybody. But
Yeah.
it's not like with the consequence of, oh no, if I don't sell enough shoes this day, I'm going to starve and be kicked out of my house, etc. Like
Right.
you can rise as high as you want in China. You can't try to overthrow the government or they will stop you. They will have issue with you. But
Yeah.
there was I hate throwing out anecdotes without having the freaking article up to prove I'm not lying. But like there was situations where I think it was like baby formula where there were people caught, like the owners caught cutting the baby formula with like basically plastic because it made it cheaper so they can make more money. And then that was discovered, and then they were tried and investigated, tried, convicted, and then executed. They were killed because they were doing a thing that was literally poisoning infants. Like,
Yeah.
that's not okay. We had that asbestos baby powder scandal.
Yeah.
What happened to those guys? Were they even?
Yeah,
did they
you do
even
that
see a
here, and
day in jail?
you get a presidential pardon.
Yeah,
So
you might you'll get like golden parachute fired, and then you'll be the CEO of a different company. Like that guy's got he's got moxie. He
Right,
has some
yeah.
good
This guy
business
really,
sense.
he did some stuff, but he had a good reason for killing all those babies. So we better listen to him and make him a government employee.
I had
So
somebody
yeah,
putting it across in a good way where it's like you're better off getting arrested for like mugging people or doing like like that kind of crime in China. You're going to get treated better than if you're a corporate criminal because like honestly, your impact if you're a petty criminal is going to be on like the handful of people you directly victimize as opposed to if you're a corrupt CEO, potentially millions of people will have been adversely affected by your actions and your punishment is proportionally appropriate there where white collar crime as we call it here which ends up hurting far more people is punished severely in China as opposed to like
well, it should be.
he's some kid who stole a fucking was shoplifting or whatever like
Right. Yeah. And that's also an easily managed situation because if somebody does that, it's like, okay, well, this kind of went past our many fail safes to keep this from happening. So let's go back, let's take them back to the process and make sure this doesn't happen again. Like they have that in place. But if you try to do something that's going to challenge authority, obviously. I mean, you don't want to hear like no American likes to hear authority, but like, what do you fucking think you're living under now? Like, oh, you're so free, freedom. Give me a break.
if you're
So
annoyed that Elon Musk is up there influencing the government, well, maybe that's the kind of like if you're in China and you become a Jack Ma and you're a billionaire and you're trying to influence government, what do they do? Did they kill him? No. Well, he because he didn't do like crimes that ended up like either killing others by like poisoning a food supply or building a thing in a way that people got hurt, etc. He was just getting a little bit like we should make China more like America. China's kind of like he was just kind of getting like mouthy basically. So he quote disappeared. Like they fucking gave him an extended talking to, and now he's just back out. Just riding the subway,
right.
living his life. You can
Yeah.
do basically whatever you want in China as long as you're not hurting anybody else or trying
Yeah.
to overthrow the government. And
Like,
it's actually
yeah.
pretty easy to not do those things.
It really is. And you don't have I think also what's missing from the conversation is like, yes, obviously there are cultural differences. There's some bit of confusion like about, oh, well, we wouldn't like that and they wouldn't like this. But like, it's really easy not to want to throw your government over if they're serving you and giving you a good quality of life like they are supposed to. You are supposed to be incentivized to live somewhere and work and pay taxes so they get that money. You are not supposed to be penalized and marginalized and tried to turn into slaves at every turn that exists because we use the fear-based model instead. Our government should be treating us not just like humans, not just like baseline, like, oh, we give you just the very bare minimum. We should be being treated to be here. That's the thing. And Americans, it's not to the point that it's going to matter, but Americans are leaving the United States in droves. Like they really, really are. And other places, it's not like, they're like, oh, we're so glad to have you, Americans. So glad you're here. But they are feeling like their bare minimum is so much better than our bare minimum that they are basically being pampered and treated super well. So like,
The Chinese government enjoys, and I say enjoys, the reason that any of this can fly, the whole idea of like you don't try to freaking overthrow the government, is because their government is it's a government of, for, and by the people. It has far over. Let's be conservative and say it has a 50% approval rating. How do you think that compares to the United States? Like they have a much higher approval rating because in general people have the perception, which I would say is based in fact in reality, that their system overall is benefiting them. That if they run into horrible trouble, they will be taken care of. If they need help, they will have a reasonable path to obtain that help. So if someone comes in, they're like, "We need to change all this." It's like, well, what you're really suggesting here is that that shouldn't be how it is. That you should be getting debt trapped, and it should be if you slip up once, you're just screwed for the rest of your life. And like you should be, like that's what the American system is. When you're trying to like let's replace this system that is clearly working with one that clearly does not work for the same group of people. At least it works for some of them. It works for the Epstein people really well.
Right.
Like that's what you are then threatening. So that's an actual thing. It's not just we can't go out Winnie the Pooh. Blah, blah, blah. Like. It's not that freaking shallow, man.
Yeah.
They have a system right now that represents its people. We have a system that does not represent the vast majority of our people.
That's an abuse system, basically. Did you guys treat yourselves to a little medical care just because you could?
We did. John got was probably like a small like upper respiratory infection, maybe just like a bad cold.
Oh,
But
yeah, okay.
in like right in the middle of our trip, the beginning and end he was fine. Then the middle he felt a little crappy. But it was as simple as I went to the pharmacy, used my translation apps, and I'm like, hey, my friend has the following symptoms, and they're like, all right, do you want Eastern or Western medicine? And I said,
Eastern.
honestly, probably both. And then she kind of like chuckled at that. But what that meant was, do you want antibiotics or do you want TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, which is going to be tablets of like herbs, ginseng, licorice root, a few other ones. And we got, oh, I have it. I forgot, I have it like right here. I kept the box to see if I could get this, and they will sell this on Amazon. It's a Baihe Gujin Pian, Baihe Gujin Pian, or you can find it on Amazon as it's like lung vigor.
Okay.
Like, it's like good for like an upper respiratory, like a top of your chest cough. Oh geez, I have her handwriting as she's trying to copy down the English characters that she does not
Right.
have. She's like five tabs, but she wrote it half as like a 5 and half as the wool, which is 5 in Chinese. She's doing it. They're very helpful. Much better service than you would ever get from a fucking like a CVS. Walk into a CVS, they don't give a shit.
It just seems to me like I have a big problem with Western medicine and trusting it in any kind of a way. And so I would have just like if I were there, I'd be like, I think I'll just go have an Eastern once over just because like what's going on, and and like, make sure I'm actually doing well, because like that that we're talking about the difference between like profit model that's really only a good century old in what the West seems to know, versus thousands of years of knowledge. I think that I would feel like much safer and
I
better
put more
having.
credence into that stuff every year
Mm.
because you see the results of it's like you're saying, it's not even about like people it's the incentive structure that creates the drugs. Like, why were we all told that opioids are totally fine, you can have as much as you want and it won't hurt you at all? Why? Because it was making a bunch of money, and then a few years later, oh, actually that's horrible, stop taking that. Like, why did we put lead in the paint like after we knew it was bad? Like, because
Right.
it's freaking cheaper, made more money. But
Yeah.
over there, we got a pack of acetaminophen, right? Like, is that the basic antibiotic you can get? We got these things,
Aspirin.
and we got some cough syrup, and that was like a total of $15. And we, of course, don't have like insurance in China, and if you have Chinese insurance, that takes that down even more. But we didn't have to go to a freaking doctor. We didn't have
Yeah.
to do it because I think it is a little silly that you need to go have a doctor visit to get basic antibiotics in a lot of
Oh yeah.
cases. Like, I know I have a sinus infection. Just,
Right.
just give me the
No,
stuff.
yeah, and that's true too for like if people like women. Some women are like super prone to UTIs, and that will fucking kill you. Like if you've had like one time and you get another
You
one,
know when it
you
happens
know
again.
what you fucking have, and the
Instead, you
clock
gotta
is
wait a
fucking
week or a
ticking.
month to see your
Yeah,
freaking
yeah,
general
but
practitioner.
you should always be able to just go to the pharmacy and just have like give it, just give me the fucking nitrofurantoin, like just fucking give it to me right now, like that, because like that is so stupid. That's in particular a thing. Like it's not just like, oh, I don't know, I'm just generally feeling bad. It could be the flu, or it could be UTI. No, if you have one, there's no question about it. I want to shout out the chat before we close out today. Thanks to Time Traveler and Nathan Coyote for hanging out with us and throwing some things our way. Nathan mentions that sounds like a real functional country instead of literal hell. We agree. He also mentions I'm a Leatherman, so I would go in full bluff old guard or boot black and shine shoes. Okay, so those are words I'm not familiar with, but I think that's probably that makes sense in some capacity. But like that's the thing. We appreciate you, and we're glad that you hung out with us and have also enjoyed getting to go on this journey with us, because I have loved going by proxy. Like I hate traveling, so I'd like to see like what the whole time. He texted me a couple times from there, and I was like, he's texting me from China. This is so cool. Like, like I could go there if I wanted to, but this is way better, like for me. So like yeah, a big thanks to our mayor for going and being international, being a diplomat on our show's behalf, and having a great time. So we're glad about that. Do you see yourself going back? No, I mean, not
Back
like
to
right away.
China?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd very much like to go back to China. That'd be freaking fun.
Well, it's just
Well,
so big. There's so much more to do and see, more to see.
I'm very
So
happy and like proud isn't the right thing. I just like spent some money and got on a train. It wasn't that hard for me to do, but I'm glad slash proud that I've now got to see 5 major Chinese cities, and there's a bunch more. I think I'm gonna intentionally next time try to see, because I wasn't all in tier what they it's somewhat official but somewhat unofficial, the
mm,
tier ratings of Chinese cities, where they have like tier 1, which is like Shanghai, Beijing, now Chongqing, Chengdu, and a couple others, and then like tier 2, which would be like, I think Guangzhou is that kind of like Shenzhen, a few others, where it's basically just the rating of like infrastructure. Like a tier 2 city, like if we're being real, like LA would probably be considered about tier 3. Like it's fine, it has some stuff going, it has a minor subway system, like some minor public transit, it's doing all right. I guess New York would probably be like tier 2, or maybe Manhattan would be tier 1. But even then, I've seen things of the New York subway system where just like floods.
oh man, yeah, like
Like,
literally, like rats are floating by. Like it couldn't be worse.
it
Like yeah,
floods and people are getting pushed onto the tracks and you're getting
which
shivved and whatever. It's
yeah,
like, that's
right.
not
It's like
great.
every '80s movie in New York. Like it's real. It's all real. Yeah, no, I think
But I
that would
want to
be
go
really
back and see some lesser quote unquote cities. Like I'd like to actually get out into like the true suburbs. I kind of got
mm,
to on this one, but I think to do that I'm gonna have to either rent a car or have somebody drive me around. And I feel like I can do it. They drive on the same side of the road as us and everything,
oh
so
nice.
I could do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No, that would be yeah, that's excellent. I hope that you get to go back and that we're still doing this and the whole everything hasn't fallen apart yet, so that we can do one of these again. Because I think this was really great. I really enjoyed this, and I think the people that watch also really enjoy it.
Next week I'll
yeah,
talk about how I don't mean to bring him up at the end of the show 2 weeks in a row, but last week Hassan Piker was not sanctioned, what is it, subpoenaed by the Trump administration, and
yeah,
then this week he was supposed to go talk at, I guess I thought South by Southwest was only a thing in Austin, Texas, but apparently there's a South by Southwest in England. They also do that, and he was
okay,
supposed to go speak at that, and not like the event, but the British government itself was like, no, you may
no,
not enter England.
wow. Is
Why? And
he's a natural American, right? Like
yeah,
he's
he's
like
fully American
born.
citizen. He's not like British or anything. And
Well,
him
that's
and
what I was wondering. Like, did they could they okay.
revoke his citizenship. But
Yeah,
him
right?
and
Like I'm kind of like, what's going on? And obviously, like they don't give a shit. They just don't want the heat, but they're doing the bidding of what the American
it
government told them to do.
seems to be an Israel thing, man. It seems to
Mm,
be that they spoke out against Israel now, because it's him and a freaking, do you remember or know of the Young Turks? Cenk Uygur, who is one of the Young Turks dudes, he was also not allowed. Like him and Hassan were like on the same plane, like supposed to go speak at
mm,
the same event, and both of them are not allowed. Were not allowed like into England, let alone to. It's not they weren't allowed to speak. It's they were not allowed to get on their flight to the United Kingdom because of words. Like, and as an American, that's insane to me. Like, I know that they do not have freedom of speech, whatever limited First Amendment protections we still have in the U.S., but the U.K. does not have that, like, at all. It's not in any, they have not any other constitutions or legal documents, common law, whatever. So that's just, like, galling to me as an American citizen. Be like, what? He wasn't allowed in the country because of words? And as much as I believe that Hassan is a Democrat sheepdog, kind of like how Bernie Sanders has become, where his only his purpose within the machine, why he's allowed to function and be on the cover of magazines and put in freaking New York Times articles and all that shit, is to make sure that if you get a little bit of an inkling of like, hey, maybe this system doesn't work, he has to pull you back in and be like, no, no, no.
hold
If
it
we just
or
vote for
warn
this
you.
one Democrat, if we
Yeah,
just vote for this other Democrat, if we vote for this Democratic socialist who happens to be a Democrat and only ever works within the Democrats, then something will happen, right?
right.
And the fact
And
that
then
even he is
yeah,
being fucking speech policed and treated unfairly, like that's not good. Shouldn't do that to anybody,
yeah,
even though I think that guy
and
is a snake.
he is a snake, and I feel like that we're talking about like because I'm sure he's been in a lot of closed door meetings here with like Democrats and like the powers that be that are like we're putting you on the path because I see that this is angling towards I don't know how old he is, but yeah, I see this as angling towards a a fast track political career and using
He's
him like
definitely on
Bernie,
like a short list somewhere. Like he's
right,
one of the
and
options
using
they could pull, maybe.
yeah, they're using him like Bernie because Bernie's like in his fucking 80s. They need somebody that appeals to Gen Z that, you know, is like all handsome and pumped up and like this is like your like what looks maxing guy or whatever. Like
Oh my God,
here's your bro.
clavicular.
Here's your guy, right? Like here's your guy, your bro. Like he's one of you bros, you know, like this kind of thing. Like it just seems very transparent to me, like because we've seen this, like them just throwing somebody up the charts like all the time. Like it's very, very. I hate to reference this because of the bullshit that they pulled with their Israeli garbage, but The Boys. This is basically all like the whole ecosystem of the show. The Boys is where you are, you know, your popularity is like how many of your dumb movies have you made, and how are you trending this week, and then that's how you are. That's your social currency is your currency. But again, the point of it is like the reason I feel like it's so transparent. It's not because we have a guy but who says stuff. We're guys who say stuff, but because everybody else, two countries, are making such a fucking big deal out of it. Like they're the ones, you know, creating this black hole around a guy. Like, you know, before any of this, he was just a guy. And then now it's like all this other media, all these people, it's all like people like they're the ones drawing attention to the guy who was just a guy until that they decided. So yeah. And again, it also might have, you know, be at the point, or it will get to the point where it's like, you will do what we say, we'll put your fucking head on backwards. You'll magically fall out of a window, you know, 10 stories up, like, you know, whatever. So that remains to be seen, but we'll be getting back into more current events and what's going on here, and you know, another day in the mines of hell. But again, thank you so much for being with us and enjoying this along with us. And it's definitely a pleasure for me. And we're again glad to have our mayor back, and we will talk to you again at the same time next week. And then, you know, as always, if you have something that you want to throw at us topic wise that we haven't covered or haven't covered enough, or you think, you can hit us on our socials. We're hard to find, but we're there. We're on everything. Like, you can find us. It's just that we're kind of like, oh, they don't say the right words, so you can't find us that as easily. Yeah, we definitely have our stuff throttled. So people can't find us to follow us. So like, if you look for us, you can't find us, and like, you know, so that's why a lot of that goes on. But again, thanks so much for being with us. If you're watching after the fact, thank you for checking out our stream. And yeah, we will see you next week. So thanks so much. Again, I've said that about 12 times now. One of our background wasn't working earlier, so I don't know. We're gonna roll the dice. This was a remarkably error-free episode for us guys. Like yay for a whole show in America where something worked. So we're gonna roll the dice here again, but we will see you next week. So take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.